I feel like Jake Paul. It's every day, bro. We're going out there and talking about a Russian guy, either one from Philadelphia or one from Montreal. It's one or the other, right? Sometimes it's both, because today what I wanted to do is go over onto responsiblegambling.org and read this piece published by... who's the writer of this? I can't even see. Sergei Demidov. That's who it is. Yes, big shout out over to Sergei Demidov, who published this piece about a week ago on September the 5th, 2024. The NHL hasn't seen players like this for long. Ovechkin, Demidov, and others talk about Matvei Michkov's upcoming NHL debut. Now, of course, you know from the title, you know from the thumbnail, we're talking today about Philadelphia Flyers prospect Matvei Michkov, and the latest as to what other Russian hockey players from around the hockey world are saying about him. Pretty simple premise, pretty simple idea, and this is not going to add anything new, I would say, to the conversation about Michkov and his path to NHL stardom. Even as far back as 2020, we were talking about how this guy was neck and neck with Connor Bedard as a potential franchise generational prospect. We had seen the Olympic Games themselves. Yeah, that's right, the Olympics. The 5 rings and the every 2 years, summer, winter alternating events. We had seen them call Matvei Michkov the best Russian hockey prospect since Alex Ovechkin, and it's been a non-stop train of hype for Matvei Michkov. Honestly, okay, there were a few hiccups along the way. The entire, will he go to the NHL? Will he not go to the NHL? He's got a 2026 expiring KHL contract. That entire situation was pretty blown out of proportion in 2023, and it's a big reason why he went from 2nd overall projected to 7th. Either way, though, we did have ourselves some comments made by some NHL legends like Alex Ovechkin and some NHL future stars like Ivan Demidov about Matvei Michkov. I wanted to go over some of these comments here as compiled by Sergei Demidov, the writer of this article on rg.org. Philadelphia Flyers forward Matvei Michkov is one of the most intriguing hockey players in the NHL this season. The 19-year-old winger arrived in the NHL 2 years earlier than expected after the final 2 years of his contract in the KHL were terminated. Michkov, selected by the Flyers as the 7th pick in 2023, has spent the last 2 years in the KHL. Last year, he played 47 games with HK Sochi, scoring 19 goals and adding 22 assists. Very good number for a guy who is only 19. Many are waiting for Michkov's debut in the NHL, including Russian hockey players. Over the past month, RG.org asked Russian players to express their opinions on Michkov, his debut in the NHL, and the expectations from it. This is where Alex Ovechkin goes out there and comments. The most important thing is to avoid injuries and play his hockey, not to stop there and only move forward. I know Matvei is very talented, scoring a lot in the KHL for his age. Let him always have self-confidence. Philadelphia will support him, and I hope his development will go well. Man, you can say that again. All it boils down to is injuries. And for Alex Ovechkin, he was a guy that embodied that sentiment. You know how there was the entire Ovechkin versus Crosby debate in the 2000s? Well, the thing is with Sid the Kid, even though he had a Hall of Fame career, even though he is for sure a generational talent, multi-time award winner and Stanley Cup ring winner, the fact is, there was a period in the late 2010s when Sidney Crosby was hit with injuries, and it derailed his career for a little bit. Now, he was able to fix himself up, get back on the horse, and win a few awards, including another Art Ross after that, but still, injuries took away what a lot of people would consider to being maybe the best hockey Sidney Crosby would have ever played in his career. That 2014 Art Ross winning year was a statement from Sid the Kid, after bouncing back from 3 straight seasons of not playing 82 games, not even playing half the season in most cases. So while talent certainly does speak for itself in most cases with these prospects, Ovechkin's right, you have to be able to stay healthy. For Ovi, there wasn't really a time in his career where he was out for a significant period of time. He would get suspended once in a while for not showing up to the All-Star game, and maybe miss a few games here and there, but still, Ovechkin was a beast that was consistently in the lineup ever since his debut in the NHL back in 2005. And now, he's just a few goals remaining from passing Wayne Gretzky. So, there's that. Now, there also are some other comments here. This is what Alexander Radulov, Akbar's Kazan forward and ex-NHLer, said about Michkov. He's got a good shot and excellent vision of the ice. He's become stronger compared to the season before last. He has become stronger physically, which is good for him. He still has a young body and he will improve. The main thing is to stay healthy. He's a very good hockey player and he'll have a very good coach in Tortorella. It is unlikely that he'll be criticized for no reason. Everything is in his hands. The Flyers have a good and young team. He'll probably be given a lot of playing time. I think Alexander Radulov was a pretty underrated overall Russian hockey player, mostly because he did have a few really strong years, but I think he kind of goes under the radar a little bit. I don't know. Either way, though, he isn't the only Russian to go out there and speak out about Michkov. This is another, maybe lower-key Dallas Stars-related Russian player, Evgeny Dadonov, saying, "I only know him from the news, so I'm very interested to see him in person. I'm curious to see how his game matches the hype around him." There also were a few other comments made about Michkov by other NHL prospects, like one Ivan Demidov. Forward, Montreal Canadiens prospect, both the team and the whole city were really looking forward to his arrival. He is a new hope for Philadelphia. There haven't been such players in the NHL for a long time. Unsurprisingly, he was greeted so warmly, and everything was done to make him comfortable. He even sent me several videos from the locker room and the ice. As for his game, I'm sure he will succeed. Matvei is a versatile player who is always focused on the goal, but can also make passes. Moreover, he can play in the center, and we've had such an experience together. The main thing is that he needs good partners, and in Philadelphia, there will be no problems with that. And I think a lot of people, this is kind of like lost on a good chunk of hockey fans, especially those on Twitter. My goodness, Twitter is a cesspool. But for all the Canadiens fans and Flyers fans getting all pissed off about Michkov Demidov, who's better, who's worse, who sucks, and who's great. The fact is, these guys are friends, bro. These guys are great friends. They were on the same KHL team. Michkov is sending Demidov videos and pictures of what it's like to be in the NHL. Like, there are very legitimate connections here. So, obviously, for fans, it's easy to say, oh yeah, my guy's better than your guy. But, like, when you think about the players themselves and their own perceptions of this, they probably have no reason to be thinking about something like this at all. While Matvei Michkov may have made a comment or two saying, oh yeah, it kind of sucks that we can't play together, there's no part in his being that is thinking about, oh yeah, I'm better than Demidov. I'm going to have a better career than this guy. Like, I'd like to think that hockey players are more humble than that, and I know you kind of have to have an ego to be a pro hockey player or be a pro athlete in general, but come on. Fans on Twitter, Habs fans, Flyers fans, y'all are making this way crazier than it needs to be. In fact, there are other prospects that speak out about Michkov as well, like Danila Yurov, Minnesota Wild prospect. It's great that Matvei managed to break out of the KHL and go to Philadelphia. I think he has every chance to prove himself. He has a scoring instinct that I have never seen before. He knows when to pass. He feels when to shoot and where the puck will go. You are born with such qualities. You can't acquire them. In the highlights, you can see how he arrives at the far post, and the puck seems to bounce to him on its own. But I think it's not luck, but rather a scoring instinct. And I really like that comment. Danila Yurov has a really good perception on how these things play, because Matvei Michkov, of course, is very, very talented. It's difficult to say that his skills are skills that you have to learn. Like, this guy is just born with it. So with that in mind, I wanted to leave you with the rest of the article. It'll be linked in the description. There are some other comments made by other prospects, such as Igor Chernyshov and Arseny Gritsyuk and Mikhail Gulayev. Igor Surin also gets involved here. A lot of commentary from prospects around the Russian hockey landscape. It's all going to be there in the description if you want to go ahead and read that yourself. But for now, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Alex Ovechkin, Ivan Demidov, Alex Radulov, Danila Yurov speaking out about Matvei Michkov and making their comments known as to what's making this guy successful? What are your thoughts on the quality of play we will see out of Matvei Michkov in 2024-2025, and how many points do you think he's going to get? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.